Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you guys doing? Nobody's here yet. We're live at the moment, but for those of you who are watching it later, a very warm assalamu alaikum to you guys. Thank you very much for joining me here on the channel. If this is your first time, whilst we're waiting, just hit the subscribe button so that you guys are in touch. While we wait for some people, I'll introduce myself actually, maybe. Yeah, because nobody's here yet to come and join me. I've only been here for about 30 seconds. So my name's Sam. I'm an Arabic language teacher and the creator of the Arabic in 60 Steps program. I'm a graduate from a university called SOAS. It's kind of UCL's back garden in London. Oh, mashallah, assalamu alaikum. We've got a couple of people joined us already, alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum salam, Omar. How you doing, man? How you doing, bro? Can you hear me, by the way? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Omar, what do you think of the haircut? It's a big haircut, isn't it? For those of you who are new, who haven't been on this channel before, look at some of my previous videos and look at how long my hair was. Yeah, I had a haircut the other day. I think it's been long overdue. I'd even had a bit of a shape up as well, would you believe it or not? Wa alaikum salam, wa alaikum salam. How you guys doing? Thanks very much for joining me today. In a minute, we're going to get started. I'm just going to talk to you about Sam 2.0. I don't know if you guys saw it. On my Instagram, I put a little rhyme. I put brand new program, brand new Sam. Yeah, subhanallah. But it's better though, isn't it? It is better to have my hair like this. Honestly, it's so much easier. Like when I wake up in the morning, when I used to wake up in the morning and my hair would just be all over the place. It was Sam 2.0. No, I don't use any hair oil, nor any beard oil. Although I should. But yeah, it's loads better. I made the real decision that I definitely wanted to cut my hair when I had my first wrestling class the other day. And yeah, and it was just awful. Just hair everywhere. Because you can't like most of the women who train, like most of the women who do BJJ and stuff, like they've normally got their hair in like tight plaits, and I just can't really pull that off. So I thought I'd just have a haircut and just look like a bloke. Man, you guys are so funny, man. Sam 2.0. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Right, we've got a question in. In a minute, guys, stick around, all of you. Stick around, because I am going to talk to you guys about the Arabist Digest. I have just sent it out, so most of you guys who are subscribed, you will already have it in your inboxes. But don't worry about it, because I'm going to talk to you about it now. So yeah, but there was a question. Okay, we'll just answer this question very quickly. It's not an Arabic language related question, but it's just an interesting one. So I have a revert or a convert brother who wants to marry me. Hopefully you're not a brother. You never know these days, do you? But yeah, it's a sister. Okay, I have a converted brother who wants to marry me. I don't know how to tell my dad about it. Any tips? Look, the religion is the trump card, right? Alhamdulillah, Allah has empowered the believers that the religion is the trump card. Like, if there's ever a dispute, you refer it back to Allah and His Prophet, yeah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you've just got to go into that discussion. You just got to go into that discussion. Maybe you even like pre-frame that discussion with over the dinner table a little bit of hadith here and there or whatever about like, yeah, just drop some ayats from the Quran or whatever about like, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. You know, Allah created you in tribes and nations so you come to know one another. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. You know, the best of you to Allah is the most sort of God-fearing of you, or the most righteous of you. Things like that, inshallah, just to kind of pre-frame it, and then obviously it depends on yeah. So go from there, inshallah. Obviously, I don't know you, and I don't know your dad, and I don't know the revert brother, but you know, just got to go in with that because. You know, I find most of the time that even among families that aren't particularly religious, right? Like if you've got a Muslim identity, you know, Allah has blessed us in that the religion it still carries weight. Do you know what I mean? Like I think obviously coming from a Christian background myself, like I think if I was sat at the dinner table and I sort of if I brought out quotes from the Bible and stuff, even to Christians, like there's a more prominent air of among Christians of like, that might be the religion, but we know better. Do you know what I mean? But among Muslims, even among not so practicing people, that hasn't that poison hasn't sort of started to affect the ummah in the same way. Well, it has, but it's not as prevalent. So I mean, even among families who aren't that practicing, you know, if you come at something from a religious perspective, it's sort of a trump card. Yeah. So that would be my advice. It's not advisable for Muslim women to marry reverts. I understand that. I 100% agree. I 100% understand that. Or even men. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously being a revert myself, we've been through things as a family, like my wife and I. And I've sat down with my wife before and I've said, look, if we have daughters especially, I don't know if I want them to marry reverts. Like, that sounds so hypocritical of me, right? Doesn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like my in-laws were so kind and accommodating and everything and not judgmental of me and didn't make assumptions about me. But like, it does really have some challenges. It really, really does have some challenges. And I don't really do it anymore, but previously when I used to do Somali language tutorials and stuff, like I had a lot more people who sort of messaged me about general Islamic stuff. Like now I think it's quite clear with my Arabic with Sam stuff that it's all Arabic language stuff and that's all I deal with. But like previously, my Sam of Somalia Gmail is full of sisters who married reverts. And yeah, it's full of messages from sisters who married reverts, and it didn't turn out so well. Yeah, but anyways, guys, let me I am gonna have a look at where we're up to in the chat, and I'm just gonna kind of ignore you. Oh, hold on, there is one thing. Can I share you in Hello Talk? I don't know what Hello Talk is, but my default answer is anything to do with sharing stuff I do. Yeah, cool, go for it. But I don't know what Hello Talk is. What is a revert? It is a person who has chosen to come back to the natural disposition, which is Islam. Yeah. Other people call them converts, people who have converted from another belief system into that of Islam. Okay, so I know where we are, and I'm just going to ignore you a little bit. I'm going to ignore you for a little while, and I'm just going to tell you about what this week's episode of the Arabist's Digest is. And actually, I'm going to write a little note of what minute we're at. We're at about, 7:30. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the Arabist's Digest, okay? Because I just finished writing the 11th edition of the Arabist's Digest. The Arabist's Digest is a newsletter which I put out every week, every Sunday, and I just share something useful for the Arabic students of the world. And it's only a 1 or 2 minute read. It's never anything longer than that. And and I just share something useful. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a study tip, sometimes it's an actual lesson, sometimes it's making you aware of a certain resource or something like that. Sometimes it's just a general chit chat about something useful for you guys to know that Arabic students should know. So the title this week was about 3 Arab travelers that you should know about. Because there are 3, probably the most famous travel writers in the Arabic language that I think all Arabic students should know about, because it's just so fascinating. Like, obviously different people and different teachers have certain things that kind of make them, that kind of make them tick. Do you know what I mean? That get them really excited about teaching. But the idea that, and I mentioned this in the digest as well, that like the idea that my students can read travel letters written in Arabic, can read the travel diary of someone writing in Arabic who lived in the 10th century, because a white kid from Cornwall learned Arabic and chose to teach it. Like that process is just mind-boggling to me. Like that's just such an amazing thing, right? So so who are they? Okay, so who are these travel writers who I think are so amazing and so fascinating? The first one is an individual called Ibn Jubayr. I'm not reading, actually. I've lost the page. But I'm not going to disrupt the flow of this because I think I know most of it off by heart anyway. So so Ibn Jubayr is the first one, right? And I deliberately chose Ibn Jubayr as the first one because his travel is probably the most extensive, other than the second individual who we all know about. And Ibn Jubayr was born in, I think, 1145, and he was born in Valencia. And Valencia isn't a place that we think of as being like a stronghold of the Islamic world, is it? It's like it's in Spain. Do you know what I mean? Like white people go on holiday there and have sun holidays and sit on the beach and eat paella, not paella. Hopefully my student Marta's not here. I've got a student called Marta who's from Barcelona. Hear me saying paella. That's very offensive. Paella. Anyways, so he was from there, right? He's from there, and he's a poet and a courtier among many things, and he's actually like an incredibly eloquent writer, and that really shows in his rihla as well, making it's not really particularly accessible for beginners. I'd say the rihla of Ibn Jubayr is probably the least of all the travel writings I've ever read. They're probably the least accessible, but it's so fascinating because he's traveling at the time of the Crusades. So like not only in Valencia, like Andalusia generally is like a really cosmopolitan place. There's loads of Jews, loads of Christians, but also like the Muslim world in general has loads of Christians of different kinds, right? There's Christians who are literally there for war, crusaders who are there for war. There's people who he refers to as el-Ifrinj, like the Frankish, who are like sort of European style Christians who have settled in the Middle East, who live there as like Christians who live there. And then there's also like Eastern Christians, do you know what I mean, who are like Orthodox Christians who are Arabs, do you know what I mean, or Arabic speaking and stuff. And it's really fascinating as well because he actually describes Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. Like there's a chapter in his Rihla where he actually gives a detailed description of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. Like we've got this incredible kind of historical figure that all Muslims know of, and then this individual Ibn Jubayr was traveling just at the right time and met him and writes about him, and yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's pretty special. So he's born in Valencia, 1145, dies in Alexandria actually, in what would have been 1245, no 1217 or something like that. Yeah, so he's only about 70 actually. Lives a decent time actually for that sort of era. But yeah, so that's him. The reason as well for his rihla is it was supposed to be making Hajj. He was actually supposed to be making Hajj, but got sidetracked, had a bit of a detour, as is understandable in the 12th century. The second of the travel writers you need to know about is Ibn Battuta, but I put him second because I think everyone knows who Ibn Battuta is, and if you don't, then you could find out most about him with a very quick Google search. But Ibn Battuta is born 1308, I think, 1308, 1304, something like that, and then dies 1368. And but he's the most famous. I mean, I think maybe because he's the most recent of those main travel writers. He's the most recent. He's like 200 years after Ibn Jubayr, and but also how far he travels. Like Ibn Jubayr, his travel is pretty much just around the Mediterranean. Do you know what I mean? Like he leaves Valencia, ends up in Morocco, goes across North Africa, does his Hajj, and then comes back and goes to Sicily. It's pretty much just a trip around the Mediterranean, really. But Ibn Battuta finds himself in Somalia. He describes Mogadishu. I have a video on my Sound of Somalia channel where I do a little reading from that passage, by the way, if you're interested in that. Yeah, so Ibn Battuta goes to Somalia. He talks about their language. He talks about the food that they eat, and that's really fascinating. And Ibn Battuta, sorry, is sort of he's a bit of a rock star, really. Like he just has this sort of whirlwind life. He leaves when he's about 22, I think. He's from modern day Morocco, Tangiers or something. And he's just a bit of a rock star, really. Like he travels around the world. He has loads of wives and stuff, and he has slave girls and stuff. He's a big ladies' man. Goes to China, like makes it all the way to China. Finds himself in West Africa. In all of these places, he puts some sort of description of what the women are like in those places. And yeah, and it's beautiful, really. It's an incredible historical account of what these places were like in the 14th century. But that I'd probably write the least about that because his information about Ibn Battuta is so easy to find, And then the last is probably my favourite is Ibn Fadlan. So we don't know when Ibn Fadlan was born. He died in 908 or something like that, early 10th century. And what's fascinating about him is that his writing isn't particularly extensive, but it's really detailed about one group. So like he is wa alaikum salam Muhammad. He is he's actually a scholar. He's actually faqih in the Abbasid Caliphate. He's under the Caliph al-Muqtadir, I believe. In the early 10th century, and he has to travel to like modern day Russia, right? He goes all the way up to Kazan, what is modern day Kazan, And he describes this group of people called the Rusiyya. And obviously we know the Rusiyya, he also refers to them as the Rus. And obviously that obviously sounds like the word Russian to us, right? But yeah, I think it came as a surprise to a lot of historians that the idea of being Russian was even sort of formed back then. We're talking over 1,000 years ago, right? We're talking like in the early 900s. And he talks about the Rusiyya, and what's more fascinating about it is that it's considered kind of fact among Western scholars anyway, that the people who he's describing are what we refer to as the Vikings. You know, like he describes exactly what their religion is like, what their language is like. He describes sort of, you know, how they greet each other in their society, how they even wash, like what they dress, what their body shapes are like, what their hair color's like, and it's really, really detailed account of just what these peoples are like, and it also matches up with other accounts of why they would have been in that area, like why the Vikings would have been trading with the Arabs in like modern day Kazan, is we know about this, right? Like I remember there was a BBC article a little while ago about like in Sweden or in Denmark or whatever, there was a load of like Arabic dirahim found, a load of dirhams found that had like, you know, Arabic writing on them, and the Vikings absolutely loved them. The Vikings absolutely loved these dinars. Um, um, Whatever the currency was, it would have been dinars, wouldn't it? Not dirhams, dinars. But yeah, so like the Vikings had things that were valuable to the Arabs as well, like fur, like wolf and bear fur and stuff. Those furs would have been really valuable to the Arabs, and you know, these gold dinars were really valuable as well. And also Ibn Fadlan describes like these little ceramic beads that the Arabs used to make, and the Vikings loved buying them. They loved buying them, making necklaces out of them, and giving them to their women. Like that was just something that the Vikings, they just loved. Yeah, it's just a little thing about them that they just absolutely loved, and like he even goes into detail of like what their funeral rituals were like. It's really fascinating, the writing of Ibn Fadlan, and but that's all we know about him. You know, unfortunately, we don't really know anything about his earlier life or anything like that, and he doesn't really even talk about himself much in the document. He only really talks about the people who he's describing, and describing the kind of trade that they're doing and stuff. But it's really fascinating. Yeah, check all of them out, inshallah. Lamisa, I don't know if you are subscribed to it, but anyway, you can just Google Ibn Jubayr, Ibn Battuta, and Ibn Fadlan. And Ibn Fadlan is my favourite, probably. I do have an essay. I wrote an essay in Arabic on the description of the Christians in the journey of Ibn Jubayr. That was my dissertation when I was in Palestine. If any of you are interested in it, maybe I'll send it to you if you're interested. I might publish it. So just on my blog. When I say publish it, not a big deal, it's just on my blog or whatever. But yeah, because that might be interesting for some of you guys. So that's it. You know, that was it. That was the topic. I think I've talked about for about 10 minutes on what the topic of the Arabist Digest was this week. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed it, what we'll do is we'll just have a chat now, inshallah. We'll just have a chat a little bit. We'll have a little talk. Yeah, if there are any questions and stuff. I've never heard of Rihlat Abu Yusuf or Rihlatu Abi Yusuf. Never heard of that in my life. I'll Google it. Rihlat Abi Yusuf. I would especially like to read that because I'm an Abu Yusuf. Have you guys got any good suggestions for baby names as well? Because we had our scan the other day and we're having a little boy, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah, everything went well, alhamdulillah. The most important thing is healthy baby, isn't it? You know, like more important than Oh right, you actually meant me. You actually meant me. Right, okay, yeah. There is no document, there is no rihla to Abi Yusuf as of yet, but you know, perhaps in the future, inshallah. Ameen. We always liked the name. Well, I like the name Binyamin, so we'll have like Yusuf, and obviously in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, he has a little brother called Binyamin. I like Binyamin. My wife likes the name Yasin. Yeah, we like the name Yunus as well. I think perhaps you guys help me out with that as well, actually. Oh, Marta is here. Marta's here as well. Cool. What's up, Marta? How you doing? Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if it is a thing, like among, so perhaps some of you guys can let me know in your, yeah, it is Benjamin, as in the Arabic Benjamin. You know, I actually wanted to call Yusuf Omar, I wanted a name of sort of strength, like I wanted Omar or Musa, but my wife wanted Yusuf, and as a lot of married men need to do, we compromised and we had Yusuf. That's the husband's compromise, that is. But I'm happy with Yusuf, alhamdulillah. It does suit him, and yeah, it's a good name for him, alhamdulillah. So we like, yeah. Oh, sorry, I got distracted again. Is it a thing among any of your cultures as well that all the children have the same like first letter for all of their names? Is that a thing for you guys as well? Like I taught some Libyans a while ago, and the Libyan kids, they were called Enes, Emel, Amin, and Ayman. Like they all had the same. They all had like A as their first letter, right? And yeah, like I know a family as well, a Somali family, and the girls' names are Samira, Safat, Sahra, Sausen, Sabrina, and they all have S. Yeah, yeah, I've seen it. It's quite common that families do that. Yeah, that's interesting, Lemis. I'm trying to think of any if I know any Palestinian families that do it, and yeah, I don't know any. Um, yeah, they're good names though. Ali, Tariq, Lemis. Khair, inshallah. We just make dua for a healthy child. That's all that really matters. Alhamdulillah. Before we had our first one, before we had Yusuf, I always wanted girls. I always just kind of, I don't know, just my whole life really. I just wanted to make a man out of myself. Like I wanted to look at my life and think like I've taken on responsibilities and I've done good things for other people and stuff. And I thought if I could look at myself as a man and have raised four girls, like that would just be a real sign of manhood for me. If I don't know, like that's what I always thought. But then when we had a little boy, I just want loads of boys now. Like I just have so much fun with my little Yusuf. I want a little football team. Mm. Yeah, yeah, and also yeah, um, raising girls is a key to Jannah, of course, and also yeah, I don't know. I feel even though like there are some things that our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, but they're not like mustahab. You know what I mean? Like something like growing the hair long, right? Like that's something that he did. Like he had long hair, but it's not mustahab. It's not like a sunnah as such to grow your hair long. Like I always just kind of liked having things that made me have more in common with him. Do you know what I mean? And even having daughters or something like that. Like I know that he had sons as well. Obviously they died when he was when they were young, but um, yeah, I always just thought like I always kind of just wanted to have girls for that, so that perhaps in Jannah I'd meet Muhammad sallam, and I'd just have more in common with him. I don't know why I just sort of had comfort thinking about that, but yeah. But anyway, I am here to answer your Arabic questions though, inshallah. So you have questions about anything, and also, I know a lot of you are already on the program, and you're probably already happy with what you've got at the moment. But if you know anyone who is interested in the new 60 Steps program, then it is an absolutely amazing time to come on board because there's only 7 days left for me doing this early bird discount as well. So I am pushing it. I am pushing it at the moment because frankly, although it is a bit more of an investment, I think it is the best thing I've ever done. And yeah, like I'm having it proofread at the moment by a graduate from Medina. That's quite a big step for me to have my curriculum proofread by someone far more knowledgeable than myself, and it's just the right time, it's all about integrity and stuff, isn't it? Because pretty much my whole career so far as an Arabic teacher, I've only really been sharing my curriculum and stuff with people who are a lower ability than me in Arabic, obviously, like students that I'm teaching. But you know, to achieve the real greatness that I want for my program and for the resources that I create, like I'm starting to try to network among Arabic teachers who have more Arabic knowledge than me, and just to be transparent with them. I'm not quite sure what you mean, akhi. How is talab? Talab. Do you mean like the verb talaba, as in to seek something, or is talab a grammar concept that I don't know of, used with conditional words and nouns? I'm also not sure what conditional words and nouns are. I know what kind of a conditional is, if there are conditions in a sentence, using either or in or low. Yeah. Yeah, I don't quite have the knowledge to understand the question, so perhaps I won't have the knowledge to answer it, but I'll do my very, very best, inshallah. If you can reword it for a miskeen simpleton like me. Yes. If you have fin nahari wal layli or wa fil laylati, it could be either. Yeah, they both need a kasra. That's a good question actually, because when you have wow in there, a lot of the time students will kind of think that the case that's obviously created from the harf jar, the fi, is kind of stopped, but it's not. When you have this wow, there'll be the same case on either side of it. So let's try with another case. If we try with the mansub, if we say something like شربت القهوة والشاي, you know, I drank the coffee and the tea. Yeah, would have al qahwata, and then the shay would have a fatha as well. It would be mansub as well. Um, um, would reading alfu laylatin wa laylatun be good Arabic? Yes, anything like that would be good. Do you know what? A friend of mine, some of you guys have met him on my podcast and stuff, brother Shaheen ar-Rahman. He's recently had a little girl, by the way. Please make dua for him and make dua for the little girl. Yeah, I haven't seen him for a little while. I was meant to go and visit him and his new baby, but Shaheen ar-Rahman sent me this wicked PDF the other day. It's an Alauddin, like an Aladdin story in Arabic, and it has all of the harakat. Like it's just so accessible. Like some of the language is so good, and the author has even written it in a way that's helpful for like beginners Arabic students. It's unusual for writers to write with all of the harakat in for a start, but then also to kind of offer synonyms for words and stuff. Um, yeah, is pretty cool. And you can download it as a PDF as well. I'm not sure how I found it, but if you type in Alauddin PDF, you'll probably find it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know. So are we leaving the EU or what? That's another thing. Tell you the spelling of the PDF. Yes, Alauddini. Perhaps I'll write it out, but because this camera, I think it'll be back to front if I do it. Perhaps I'll comment. If I can comment, then if I can comment. Yeah, sorry, I can't do it. I wonder if I might actually be able to just write it back to front. Believe it or not, I can write Arabic upside down. You know, I've spent so many years of my life tutoring kids in person that like and like kids or whoever I was tutoring would be on the opposite side of the table as me. So I got so well practiced at writing Arabic upside down so that they could see it. It's sort of a skill that I'm pretty proud of, but so let me see if I can write Alauddin the opposite way around. Alauddin. Because if I just show you it like that, it's going to be the wrong way around, isn't it? So we'll do it the other way. Ala. Ala. Ooh. Gosh, that looks really strange. Writing it back to front. Oh, that's horrible writing. So the one I'm putting a box around now. Let's see if it works. Alauddin, it does work. Alauddin. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mohammed, sorry, I've just seen your question. What case does the word usbur, means a week, by the way? It comes from the word seba, meaning seven. الكتاب الذي قرأته الأسبوع السابق. It would have a fatha, it's mansub. Words to do with time generally are, like it's the same if you were to say today. You would say قرأته اليوم. You know, اليوم when you're talking about things to do with time, which is also why غدا, tomorrow, is also like that. The only exception to that is ems. Yesterday's MC. I remember having a discussion in my 4th year with a lecturer about that. I was sure it was MC because I just heard it so much, and they were saying no, it should be Yawma Amsa, but no, it is MC. Oh, the first one was right. Oh, subhanallah, you guys don't see it. Oh, ajib. So perhaps I can prove to you my little party trick. If I show you my thing here, I can just write Arabic upside down. Hold on. You found your trousers, Yusuf. Good boy. I'm gonna help you put your trousers on. Yeah. Okay, just a minute. My son Yusuf. Do you want to meet him quickly? Yusuf, you're gonna say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Should we do some Arabic together? Do you know Alif? Your trousers? Alif? Why are you not speaking, Daddy?
I'm speaking.
You're speaking, yeah? We're gonna do Alif.
Alif.
Ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, ذال را زاي سين شين صاد ضاد طا طا طا. Not seen again. Okay, go to mummy. Put your trousers on, Daddy.
You put my trousers on.
You want me to put your trousers on? Yeah. But Daddy's working now.
You put my trousers on.
No, Daddy could put your trousers. Yeah, I'm live. Right, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna finish soon. Don't worry. Yusuf, I'm coming downstairs in a second, okay? Yusuf. Okay, I'm gonna put your right leg in. Right leg in, please. Sorry, guys. Just got some responsibilities. Right leg in. You're gonna say sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
Interrupt.
Oh, Yusuf, that's Daddy's pen. Oh, Yusuf, that's Daddy's. Okay, see you in a minute, Yusuf. We're gonna have pizza tonight, yeah? Yeah. Okay. You know, I've never ever shown my son on camera before, but just because it's live, yeah. But just because it's live, he came in, and I won't cut that out. I'll leave it, inshallah. But yeah. But I will perhaps use this as an opportunity to teach you guys a du'a. There's a du'a which the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say about to Hassan and Hussein when they were babies. And it's أعيذك بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. You know, it's أعيذك. It's sort of I seek protection for you. بكلمات الله التامة, with Allah's complete words. من كل شيطان وهامة, from every shaitan and every waham and every monster or something like that, or every beast. من كل عين لامة, and every kind of envious eye. That's a dua that you should say when you should see children. Yeah. So yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna leave in 5 minutes because we want to have dinner, inshallah. So yeah. So yeah. So reel off the questions, inshallah. I'll do my very, very best to help out. So, oh man, that's a really good question. So that's actually a question that I should ask Shaheen al-Rahman. I remember because there's actually something similar to that in Surah Maryam. Min qablu samiyya, min qabluhu. Why isn't it min qablihi? And actually, I think it's something to do with the word qabl. Qabl might actually be mebni. It might actually not be mu'arab. But I need to look into that because not all words in Arabic, not all Arabic words will have their won't have their case expressed with kasra, fatha, and dhamma. There are some words that are mebni, and qabl might just be mebni, which might be why it could be qabluhu, because we would expect it to be qablihi, because ba'd is min ba'dihi, I think. But I'd ask another brother about that just to make sure. I'd ask brother Ismail Beaumont as well about that maybe. Would you consider teaching the book Al-Arabiyya Bayna Yadayk on YouTube? Yeah, I'd consider teaching all of them. Yeah, I would. Yeah. At the moment, I'm focusing primarily on my program. I think I'll do a video at some point. I might do a little series of videos with some really clickbait titles, like the Medina books are better than your curriculum. The Gateway books are better than your curriculum. You know, Al-Arabiyya Bayna Yadayk is better than your curriculum. And I'll just talk about how my curriculum is different to those, because I didn't create my curriculum just for me to have my own curriculum. Like who am I? That's not even good. It's not even a good Sam, who are you? Do you know what I mean? To have your own curriculum. The reason why I created my curriculum is to have an Arabic curriculum specifically for people from USA, UK, and Canada. That's why I did. And in the writing of that curriculum, I deliberately have looked at the education systems in USA, UK, and Canada. And that's why it begins using Western grammatical terms, like nouns, adjectives, accusative, genitive, these different case words that are used in a Western academic perspective. And then I ease everything into an Arabic framework by the end of book 4. So that's what it's written for. It's different. Like the Medina books weren't written for that. The Medina books were written to be taught in Arabic to a really mixed student body, right? Like there are students who go and learn the Medina books in Medina who are from, they might have 30% of the class are from Nigeria, a few others in the class are from China, a few others are from Western Europe, some others are from Brazil or whatever. The idea of it, that's what it's for, and it's perfect for that. It's an amazing curriculum for that. But I just think that us, when we come from our UK, USA, Canada background, that we have certain language expectations and understandings that should be accommodated in a new curriculum. That's what I did my curriculum for. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, Mohammed, I'll do my very, very best to keep up with your question. So, what gender is the word su'al? The word su'al is masculine. To the best of my knowledge, it's not one of the words that is actually feminine. Although I always come across new words that are actually feminine. I saw a grammarian the other day. I was watching a video of a grammarian online the other day who was saying the word ke's meaning a glass or a cup, is feminine. I never knew that. But there are loads. There's a list that you can find various lists online telling you the main ones, like the word nar is feminine, harb is feminine, rih is feminine, bitter is feminine, dar is feminine, and then body parts that come in pairs, like eyes, hands, legs, feet, they're all feminine words as well. And you'll come across them, and there are even some words that can be either. There are some words that can be either, but su'al is masculine. Okay, how to do the jazm present in the mudari', a final week verb. So jazm, the word jazm itself is actually to do with squeezing. Something's majzoom, it's squeezed. And an implication of that is that long vowels get shortened. So in this case, it'll be talqit, lam talqit. Just that ya on the end will become, that ya on the end will become a, will become a kasra, lam talqit. So another, the fi'l naqis, the final week verbs, are probably the most problematic, I think, because you need to talk about them in every verb form. Do you know what I mean? Like hollow verbs, for example, they're no longer hollow in form 2. Do you know what I mean? a verb like kana. There is a verb kawwana, like kawwana, because of the shedda on the wow. It's a w now. It's not an oo. It's not weak anymore. It's become a consonant. So yeah, the fi'l naqis is worth paying attention to. There are a couple of things in the new program, in the new book, that I've edited into with the fi'l naqis, because there are some things that I didn't. I can't include everything in a 60-step program. Do you know what I mean? I can't do everything, but yeah. But there are some things that would be worth talking about, inshallah. Next question. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, I'm always wrestling with this idea of adding kind of more speaking in, and I do want to work towards having more like more practical everyday use of language in the workbook. So I do kind of want to move towards that, like just for basic language, for like using in the market and stuff like that. Like it would be well worth me adding stuff like that in, I think. But the reason why I've employed mentors to take care of the students on the new program is for that. It's for students to kind of get a bit more of an everyday Arabic usage into their experience. منذ ستي, that's not an idafa. The word منذ is actually a harf jar. The word mudh is a synonym of that as well. منذ just means since or ago. So if so that's why the word afterwards is majroor. So for example, if I was going to say 2 years ago, منذ سنتين, or 2 days ago, منذ يومين, that's why that's the case. No, when you use if clauses, so I talk in the program about using low or using in and either to mean if, and you usually say like in blah 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 for blah blah blah. Like if you do this, then this will happen. And you can either use them both in the maldi or them both in the jazm. That's the most common way. It makes no difference in the meaning. You can use either. Yeah, it makes no difference in the meaning. Okay, there's a question about the verse of daraba in the Quran. Do you know, it puts me in a difficult position when people, not because it's a difficult answer, just because I'm not in a position to answer that question, because I'm not a sheikh, as although you say su'ali ya sheikh. Unfortunately, I'm not a sheikh. I'm not really in a position to answer that. Yeah, I don't want to comment on the tafsir of that. So I'm not breezing over it. I'm acknowledging it and stuff, but it's just not my right to give a ruling on it. So is ba'da a preposition? Ba'da, it's probably not correct to say that it's a preposition, but it is right to say that it is a thing that does jar, right? Like the word that will come after it will be majroor, which is why you have pronouns after it. You say like ba'dahu or ba'dihi or ba'daha or whatever. You have a majroor damir after it, or a ism majroor as well. If you could say like ba'da al-harbi, after the war or something. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. It's pretty nice haircut, isn't it? You should have seen how pathetic it was. You had me and my wife walking along in town. My wife's been telling me to have a haircut for ages. She hated it long. Walking along in town, and then we go past the barber's, and I sort of speed up a little bit to try to sort of run away. And my wife grabs me, and I sort of look at my wife with sort of a pleading kind of look of like, don't make me go in there. And she handed me a photograph of this man who looks like a member of S Club 7 or some boy band. And I take this photograph, and I have to go in to this barbershop and hand them the photo and say, my wife wants me to look like this. It was pathetic, but that's how I've ended up looking like this. Yeah. طيب. Right. I need to order dinner for my family now, inshallah, because I told my son that we'd have pizza, and he's very excited about that. So, Pizza Planet in Northampton, they do good pizza, good dough. Right, okay, we're gonna call it a day there, inshallah. May Allah bless you guys. May Allah reward you guys. Thank you very much for coming to spend your Sunday evening with me. I very much appreciate it. Please make dua for kind of my project and for reaching out to more students and stuff like that. Tomorrow is the podcast. There'll be the podcast tomorrow. The topic. So I have a couple in mind of what we'll talk about. I was going to do a little seminar on the different uses of the word ma, the different kinds of ma, but just look, because every now and again I just kind of flick through the podcast and look at what episodes are doing well. And it seems like people like kind of conversational stuff, like my episode on expressing your opinions in Arabic is doing really well, and stuff like that. So I might do something about like talking about Brexit in Arabic or something like that, something a bit current. Might do something like that in the end, inshallah. Yeah, but we'll see. I'll publish it at about 6 o'clock tomorrow, the podcast. The rest of you, watch the podcast, inshallah. Listen to the podcast. Yeah, I like the podcast. It was my dream in the beginning to do it daily, to do a daily episode of the podcast and to do it live and stuff. I'd kind of treat it like I have my own radio show. That's kind of what I wanted. And in the future, I would like to work towards having guests. I'm trying to chat up Dower Man at the moment, trying to get him to be a guest. Yeah, at some point, just talk about his experience learning Arabic and the importance of learning Arabic with him setting up the Knowledge College and stuff like that. And then his brother Saad as well is actually an Arabic teacher in the Knowledge College as well. I'd like to have him as a guest on the podcast. Brother Ismail Beaumont, building a relationship with him. I'd love to have him on the podcast too. And then any other mentors that I bring onto the program as well. I'm gonna have as guests. So Brother Mohammed, who's always in here asking questions and stuff and supporting the stuff that I do. He's gonna be a guest in a couple of weeks. We're actually recording the podcast this Thursday coming, actually. I think Mohammed's coming down to come and see me here in Northampton. We're going to have some lunch and going to record an episode of the podcast together. So I'd like to start having some more guests. Would be nice on the podcast. Yeah, try to work towards building a bit more of a community around teaching Arabic. And I kind of have it as an idea in the back of my head in a year or something to try to kind of separate all of this stuff from me. Like to get away from like an Arabic with Sam brand and try to move towards an Arabic for us kind of thing, because it's not really about me. Do you know what I mean? It's about you. It's about the students. It's about serving you. Yeah, so we'll kind of move to that in the next year or so. So yeah, guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, inshallah. As I always say, it helps my mum to feel better about her son, that he didn't turn out to be a lawyer or a doctor or something she could be proud of. He's a mere Arabic teacher on YouTube, but it makes her feel a bit better about life if he had more than 4 subscribers or whatever. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, inshallah, if you want more of this. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have a really, really good week. Yeah, get to bed, get a good sleep, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you very much for spending a bit of your evening with me, for hearing me out. Keep learning Arabic. Keep enjoying it. Never forget, anyone can learn Arabic. And see you guys tomorrow for the podcast, 6 p.m. See you guys then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.